Yes. And what you just said before, you were like, we need a like a theme song or something. You're right. Well, hey, we happen to be musicians,
We are.
so we should maybe we should make a garage band theme song.
Yeah, some might say we're good. Other people have said that.
Yeah. No, what we might.
My mom said that.
That's good. It's important for the moms to be on board. If we can even keep this name, that's another thing. We should just be honest about that. We don't
Yeah,
even
we
know if
don't
we'll
know
be
if we
able to
can keep
keep
it.
the Garage Band podcast name, but I like the name.
I like it.
Maybe we can, but yeah, we need to put a little jingle together.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so how was your week, dude?
Oh,
What's going on?
the week was great. We had a good New Year. So happy 2026 to everybody. I can't believe it's here. Uh, we've come a long way from 2020, haven't we?
Can't believe it. I mean, yeah, you're right. It went by so quickly. You
Yeah.
know, 2025 for me was just like, just like a so quickly, man.
I
Like a
was
big
thinking
blur.
about I was thinking about the other day, during the 2020 before the pandemic, was the New Year's that I had back then. I spent it over at Ducky's house. We had a big gathering of a lot of people. He lived out in Manassas, and we all went over there and had a party and ate food, and nobody was any of the wiser as to what was coming right down the pipeline. But I think we're in a much better place this year than, even back then. So let's just hope and keep our fingers crossed that we don't have anything crazy happen this year and it's just all smooth sailing.
Yes, you always tell me about the you talk about the fourth turning, right?
Yes.
Am I right? The fourth turning.
The
Tell me
fourth
about
turning.
that again. Why is it the fourth, and what does that mean? Why is that?
So the fourth turning is a generational concept that there are four different stages um, in a generation, like an 80-year cycle. So you've got the high, which is when everything's just kind of mellowing out. There is the awakening, which for us, the last awakening would have been in the 70s during like the Summer of Love and like the hippies and all that. Then it starts winding down, and then the fourth turning is called the crisis. And it's called the
We
crisis
must be in
because
that now.
we are in the crisis right now, according to the authors of the fourth turning, and the fourth turning is here. We are currently in the crisis, and
I
hopefully,
guessed. I guessed correctly.
yeah, apparently it started with the 2008 financial market collapse and is still going strong right now. So let's just hope that we're all going to come out of that very soon.
So
Very
what's
interesting.
so what's next? Are we going back to number one since we're in four? So we're going back to one.
Yeah.
What am I looking forward? Give me some hope here. What's after the crisis?
What's after the crisis is kind of everything starts to rebuild. So the crisis,
Awesome.
yeah, the crisis is kind of like the complete destruction of the old institutions and value systems just come crashing down, um, and new ones get put in place. It's all replaced by something new, and I think we're seeing a lot of that right now, especially like with Generation Alpha. Um, as much as we
Is
like
that what it's called?
Generation Alpha, or
Yeah.
are they Gen
Is
Z?
that is that
Gen
is that the
Z.
newest one? Wait,
Gen,
that's the newest
yeah, Alpha is
teenagers
the
right now.
newest. Yeah,
Okay.
but before then is Gen Z, and Gen Zs are the ones that are really surprising. At
We're
least me.
millennials though. We're the coolest, dude. How many people get to live to see a new set of 1,000 years, man? That's
Yeah,
us.
I
We
know.
were there, dude. We were
We
there.
were
I
there.
remember. I celebrated New Year's with you. I
Yep.
was 17 or
Yep.
18 years old, and
Yeah.
we,
No,
we were at your house and watching that little TV you had in the kitchen,
a
waiting
little
for the
tube,
lights to go out,
a
right?
little tube TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the power was going to go. Dude, we watched that. We
The
watched a
Millennium
lot of
Bug.
content on that little TV in the kitchen.
Those days were
So,
great, man. We would watch all the shows we watched from like Jackass to Bam, Viva La
and
Bam.
it never had a remote. The TV.
No, and it never
Did you ever
could.
have? Did you ever have a remote, or did it come
No,
with no remote?
no remote. It had that little knob. You just had to,
Yeah, I remember, dude. I remember like yesterday spinning that volume knob, dude.
you had to get it just right. And I don't even remember, because I remember when we got the TV, we lived in New Jersey, and that was like the TV for the kids' room. So that's where me and my brother, that was our TV. Um, And then we had our NES attached to a little bit bigger version than that, but it was still a tiny TV, just playing Mario and all that. So yeah,
Yeah,
the tube TVs. Now I got a flat screen hanging on my wall that was like next generation technology that you would
yeah,
think was futuristic
I
back
know.
then.
All we had was that little box, and come to think of it, we were sitting pretty far away from it for such a small box. It was only like like an 8 inch little screen.
Yeah, it's
And
just be
we maybe it made us not watch too much TV because we were always like, all right, let's go do something.
yeah. It wasn't as entertaining back then. Did I cut out?
No,
You can hear me?
yeah,
Must be my headphones. Hold on a second. How about now?
sounds good.
Oh crap! My headphone took a shit. Check.
I can hear you.
Okay, you
I
can
can
hear
hear
me.
you.
I can't hear you
Yeah.
or me. I can hear you
Can you
basically
do?
like very softly. So let me try to get through it and we'll see.
Can you do the? Can you do just it coming out of your computer?
Let me
The
try that
sound coming out
again.
of your computer. Yeah, click the, and I can edit this out. Click the speaker button and select your computer instead of the Bluetooth headphones. Well, that's not Bluetooth headphones. You plug those in, so I wonder why that
Yeah,
messed
these are
up.
plug-in. Hold on a
Yeah,
minute.
why would that mess up then?
Hold on. How about now? Check.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. I can actually
Okay,
kind
now
of
I
hear
hear
you.
myself.
Yeah, now, huh?
Yeah, but that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
It's not gonna
I
work.
hear the echo of my voice in your. How did you do this so well last time?
I had a different setup.
It was effortless last time. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. I only know you said fuck because I read your lips. I saw the.
How about now?
I can hear you okay, but I can't. But I can't hear I hear myself in your microphone, so it's a big echo problem. You gotta plug in. Do you have like plug in? No, wait. First of all, change your speaker now to your headphones. Back.
All right. Try it.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, now I don't hear. Now I don't hear my voice anymore. Do you hear
Okay,
me in
I
your
can
headphones?
hear you again. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Technical
I don't know.
difficulty. All right.
Maybe
Where
your
were we?
computer took a. Maybe your computer took a shit. But you hear me now, right?
I do hear you now. Yeah.
Sure. What type of internet do you have over there? I'm just curious. Do you have
I
just
ha-
basic?
No, I got the best. It's not the
You do.
internet.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
these headphones. These are shit headphones, and they were the only corded headphones I have. So
You don't have AirPods like the modern generation?
I do, but this is a corded mic, and I didn't really spend a whole lot of time setting it up, so I just kind of did the quick setup. So I
Yeah,
got
but if you put AirPods in or Bluetooth headphones in, it'll pop up in those speaker options that you saw. Next time, if you ever
Yeah.
do get
Yeah, we'll try it next time. Right now, I just wanted to get the thing working. So
yeah, all right.
I'm
So
old,
where were
man. I'm old. We were talking about the TV and how now
Yeah.
now we got flat screens on the wall that we would have thought would have been on the walls of UFOs back in our youth.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff. We were outside on the paths, in our little neighborhood
Yep.
of Ashburn, Virginia. There was a lot of walking paths, and we would go walk around and cause trouble.
A lot of
stuff
trouble.
to do. Yeah.
But now everything's electronic. Even my cigarette. My cigarette is electronic now.
That's right. Do you think that's healthier than regular cigarettes?
I don't know. Here's what I do know. I do know that regular cigarettes will kill you with cancer. I
Yeah.
do know that. But, the fact that I don't know whether this one will kill me with cancer or some other kind of crazy shit sometime down the line, I mean, I guess ignorance is bliss,
You have to be wary with new stuff because I feel like new stuff, obviously they don't have the time to figure out if this is a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
If this is just a bad idea. And then you start to see all these ads on TV like, were you exposed to what was it, weed?
Asbestos.
Roundup,
the weed killer. Yeah.
yes. So like before that, everybody was like, Roundup's awesome, I don't have to pull weeds anymore, let's use it all the time, let's bathe in it. it's a wonderful solvent, Let's and then like 10 years later, it's like, are you dying of Roundup?
Did you bathe in Roundup? Wasn't that the
Is
one that the
Roundup
guy?
even around? Like, can I go to Home Depot?
Yeah,
Is
you
it
can get
around
Roundup.
still after
Yeah.
all this shit?
Yeah, you can get Roundup. I think that's
Why
the one.
can we still get Roundup if I'm seeing commercials that I'm dying from it or people are dying from it?
Well,
Have they
isn't it-
changed the recipe?
Isn't it supposed to kill things? Like isn't it
Well,
meant?
I don't, not me though.
That's great
It's not-
publicity. It'll kill you.
but it's not supposed to kill me.
But imagine what it's
That's-
doing to the things that it is supposed to kill. If it'll kill you, imagine what it'll do to the other things. Isn't that Isn't that the one that the guy drank to show you how safe it was? Like he drank the Roundup in order, or said he was going to.
I actually have a Roundup story in the Outer Banks. I live next to this very older, wise guy, and I would be in the yard using Roundup, because it's easy. You gotta kill the weeds.
Right.
And he was picking the weeds manually on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just go through with Roundup, done, I'm back in on my computer, right? And this guy is like, so I went to him, I was like, would you like to borrow some of my Roundup? Like I have, it'll take you half the time. He's like, no, I really enjoy pulling the weeds manually. I don't use Roundup or any of that stuff. I like to manually do it. And that's the thing. In life, you have to find the joy in things. It's not always like, well, let's just do it let's find a way to do something as fast as possible, because there is joy in doing things slowly. I mean, you can have joy in anything you want, and I think that's a real secret to life. Can you bring joy out of something as simple as picking weeds? Because there's a million ways to have your mindset when you go to do something. You can say,
Right.
you can say, oh, I gotta pick these weeds. This is awful. I'm gonna cut my hand, and I'd rather be doing something else than I gotta be in the dirt. Or you can totally flip it and be like, I can't wait to pick these weeds, man. I'm going to be outside. It's a beautiful day. I'm in the dirt. This is like a nice natural thing.
Yeah.
So it's there's so many different ways to look at things in your daily life. And
Going
if
back to the
something's
old ways.
Yeah, or if something's pissing you off, you can stop and tell yourself, okay, how am I going about this? Take a break and figure out how am I going about this? Is there another way where I can look at this? And picking weeds could be awesome. I think I might just go pick some natural weeds tomorrow.
I think you should. It's good exercise.
Even though I have a lawn guy, I may just be like, whoa, no
Let me
more
pick
chemicals,
those.
pal. This is my therapy here.
We're going au natural. Get out.
There you go.
Get
There you
yourself a push mower. No more gas power for you, buddy. It's push
That's
mower
right.
now.
That's right, man.
You know what? You could even go further than that. Go get you like a scythe. Let your grass get real long and just go out there and start whacking at it with the scythe.
Maybe I'll just cut it with a pair of scissors, man.
Yeah.
Pair of scissors.
Yep. Go real old school. Go find you a flint rock. Go bash yourself off a little piece of it. The little knife edge, and then just go chop. Get to it. You'll be done by next week.
You may have found a new therapy.
Mm-hmm.
We have some different lives. You deal with you have a lot of traffic where you live,
Yeah, ton of traffic, DC area, buddy.
and so DC area. So how long is your commute?
Man, so it depends on when I leave. So the DC rush hour, especially on the Beltway, can take you. It could start at 2 in the afternoon to go home, or it could start sooner depending on how many people are out and about. But it never stops. Like there was a time back when we were young, you could get on the Beltway and there would be no traffic. You don't have that anytime anymore. Like
You still drive with one hand on the horn. I remember you used to drive like that. Just keep a hand.
Man, nowadays
Always.
it's white knuckles, both hands on the wheel, holding on for dear life. It's crazy out there now, man. Like it's one night it took me 3.5 hours to get home, and I work out in Falls Church, which is a 58-mile commute, and it took me 3 hours to get home. That's crazy.
3 hours to go 58 miles.
3 hours to go 58 miles. If there's
I feel like people spend a lot of time, doing that, and it sucks. And you ask yourself, am I managing life or am I living life?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are you just living every day to manage it, or are you actually living it?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, in my case, I think I'm doing a little bit of both because, you're working a full-time job and kind of going back to what you were talking about, making the best of whatever situations are put in front of you. I get audiobooks. I'll catch up on my news, or I'll catch up on whatever I need to catch up on. Sometimes I'll call you. Sometimes I'll call whoever. The first thing I do as soon as I get out of work is call my wife. That's the first thing I do, is tell her, hey, I'm coming on my way home. I'll see you hopefully in an hour if everything goes well, and 3 hours plus if not.
If everything goes well.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, dude. If your commute is like you have to call and say your goodbyes before you start the commute every day, that's a hell of a commute over there in DC, dude. You gotta pay your last respects before it's like, yeah. Before I drive home from work, I call my lawyer, I call my wife, call my mom.
Change up the will and testament, everything.
Yeah, if I don't see you, if I don't see you again,
it's been real.
Beltway, if I don't ever see you again, it's been real. on the shoulder.
Yeah, there's no cops. The cops aren't on the beltway to pull people over. They're there to respond to accidents.
Do you even have time to give them the finger, or they're just driving too fast? There's no way they'll ever see the finger.
It's a blur. It'd be pointless to try to flip them off. Like, they might see you in their rear view, but it'd be pointless.
Yeah. Big news here in Florida is that there is a company that is offering a flight. It's a manned. Well, no, it's an unmanned. Well, it is manned, but it's a vehicle that flies like a drone, and you sit in it. I believe they call it a UAV, maybe. No, that's unmanned is UAV.
Yeah,
right?
unmanned, autonomous.
Yeah, but this is like a taxi, like a drone taxi, and they're just announcing it. They're starting trips soon. It's going to take you from Miami to like Fort Lauderdale in like 45 minutes or something ridiculous like that. You're going to fly over all the people on 95. You just fly over it, boop, 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 and then you land in Fort Lauderdale.
So there's no pilot? Like, you're just on this drone and
there's no pilot.
Fuck,
there's no pilot.
That
just like the cars they have in LA now, where it's just, and then you see videos of a guy that's stuck in a cul-de-sac just going in circles. It's like, make the best out of that, Pat. How do you make the best out of
that? You spin me right now, baby.
We're talking about making the best of. We're talking about making the best of life and how we can, be happy in any situation. How are you going to be happy if you're stuck in a robotic car driving around a cul-de-sac over and over, just stuck, just going in a circle?
You'll
call your wife there, definitely.
Didn't one of those drive through a police hostage situation? Like, it didn't have the capability to avoid it, so the unmanned vehicle just drove right through the police hostage situation.
Well, that stuff's going to happen as we crash through, as we make new inventions and things. I mean, look at all the times that Nikolai Tesla got severely electrocuted, working on the idea of alternating current.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was zapped a lot, and
you're right. And you used the right term.
And Teslas have caught on fire, and Howard Hughes had planes that, would burst into flames all the time. But that's what it takes, and that's what people have to understand. You can't just blame, we got to take our precautions, but you can't just jump on someone or an inventor or a company that's trying to push progress forward, because it's all part of it. Unfortunately, accidents happen and mistakes happen, but that's how we can get it to function properly. Now that we had the mistake of it driving through a police scene, we can. We should have programmed that. If it's let's put something in the sensor to where when it senses the blue lights, it goes into some sort of ambulance mode where it it's hyper aware, it pulls over or something like that.
Well, let's explore this a little bit more, because it's the idea that we should do things just for the sake of doing things, such as the unmanned autonomous airplane that you're going to be trusting your life to. The bright side of that is that it could go really well, right? The downside of that is that it could go very badly, and it could crash into a baseball field or a football stadium, or it could It could do all these
It's
things.
going to crash. There's
crash.
auto accidents. There's plane accidents. It's going to crash.
Of course.
That's the thing. That's what we deal with. We take a risk going out of the house, exiting your front door.
When was the last time you flew?
I flew this year. I took some business trip
Was
over
there
to
a pilot?
Colorado. Yes.
Did you
there was
feel
a pilot.
comfortable that there was a pilot?
But it's a very locked. So talking about air travel these days, it's very like, they bolt the pilot's door closed and they latch it and they wrap, like can't get to the pilot.
Right.
Man, when growing up, my mother worked for Delta Airlines, so we flew all the time. We were able to take advantage of her perks, and we flew all the time. And flying was such a different situation back then. You dressed up back then. This was like the 90s, You wore something nice, and you got lunch, and it was a beautiful, amazing experience. People were extremely kind to you, and I don't ever remember waiting in crazy lines or being stressed out. It was always, flying. Now you go, everybody's in pajamas.
Right.
Number one. It's a flying bus where we're going to just wear our pajamas, and there's no food. A lot of times they charge you for every little thing. So air travel has definitely become a flying public bus. Now, not all of them. You do have some boutique airlines that, you're treated very well, but now the majority of air travel is a lot different than it used to be.
Yeah, but if we go from, you have a pilot, right? And I always felt comfortable on an airplane with a pilot because there is an incentive for that pilot to land the airplane safely, and the incentive is
he's not going to die.
He's not going to die.
He doesn't want to die.
He doesn't want to die. So the incentive is he's going to fly it as safely as possible. He's going to land you safely because he's in there with you. So you start taking the person who's operating the vehicle and making that, I don't know what they're planning on doing, like if they're going to have it truly fly autonomously or if it's going to be a pilot flying it remotely.
It's truly autonomous. It's navigated through satellites, the same GPS technology that they're using to make these autonomous taxis that they have. This is an autonomous air taxi. It's going to go back and forth.
Could you imagine, and this is going to be like kind of wild, but could you imagine somebody who's very rich? Like, let's say somebody like you got like Elon Musk makes his own flying taxi. What kind of security measures is he going to put in place on his autonomous taxi as opposed to like you or me? Like, what will the difference be for the people who are probably going to be creating these devices, because they could be hacked? You could have somebody that could get into the controls.
Really got to worry about that.
Yeah.
And even with the AI robots that we have now, you're starting to see a lot of these. Tesla has a whole fleet of bots that you can have inside your house, and these things help you do different chores and things like that. But it's powerful, it's strong, it can lift things, it can grab things. What's to stop somebody from just hacking into some of those systems and having it go, rob a bank or something? And that's coming. I mean, that is 100%.
Yeah,
that is 100% coming. Because there's no way to stop somebody from doing that, and it's going to happen.
Yeah. And especially these airplanes. Like, that's the thing that scares me about autonomous vehicles, is not so much that the AI is going to have a catastrophic failure. It's that something is going to get into those systems and cause or sabotage them or something like that. Those are the things that frighten me. And that's why I was wondering, like, what does somebody who creates these systems, like if they're going to fly in their own vehicle or in their own aircraft or ride in their own vehicle or fly in their own aircraft, what safety measures are they taking for themselves? You know what I'm saying? That should be in every single one of these vehicles.
Well, as they continue to produce things and we continue to push technology forward, things catch up, like safety, regulation. But a lot of times those things are always behind and they have to catch up. So at the beginning, though these things are very exciting, the safety sometimes takes a little time to catch up. Sometimes we need to have some fortunately some bad things happen. You know,
Yeah. It kind of goes back to the Jurassic Park thing. Like, we can do these things, but should we? Have we ever stopped and thought,
they
should
should
we?
have done Jurassic Park. That was awesome, dude. Come on, they should have done that.
They should have
You
really done
take
a Jurassic
you can
Park,
take
yeah.
like every mosquito I kill. I look for eggs in there, dude. I
Do
try
you?
to grow them. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I put it in a dish and
Yeah.
maybe a little Stegosaurus
Maybe it'll pop
baby
out
will
one
come
day.
out.
I think you
I
gotta get
mean,
the
it,
ones with the amber, though. I think
it
you
was
gotta.
amazing. You look at that movie now and it's kind of dated. I mean, those Ford Explorers or the little Jeeps that they created are like 95.
Yeah.
Like Jeeps. You're like, dude, I rode around in those right where I was in high school.
Chin Man had one of those.
Yeah, I remember.
He had the Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. He crashed that into the ground. You remember that? We were off-roading in it, and he had a camel hump. We were coming too fast, and he hit it and went straight up, and it
Yeah.
was front heavy, so it turned like that and came straight
Yeah.
into the ground.
Now I don't know. That's amazing because people get in accidents while off-roading when you're teenagers. But we were teenagers, and the type of accident we got into was a nose-down accident. Somehow we were able to get this SUV to crash
Nose down.
nose down.
And it teetered.
And then it fell. And of course it was his dad's car. I mean, it wasn't it wasn't anybody's cars. The baby boomers bought us a car.
Yeah.
Back then. That's
The Jurassic Park car.
Yeah.
Remember when we were out camping in my dad's RV, and we were out in Manassas, and he called us at like 1:30 in the morning. He's like, "Hey, can you guys come out and get me?" We're like, "Where are you? Like, what's happening right now?" He goes, "Well, I'm over at the off-roading spot, and I'm stuck." And we're like, "Well, fuck! Like, we don't have anything that can tug him out of there." So we went over to like some gas station and found some like rope. And went over there and tried to tug his ass out with the rope, but he was really, really stuck. Like, he was up to the bumper in
Yeah.
mud, and we had to go back to his garage and go get some chain. And his dad was waiting for him. He's like, "Hey, Ryan,
Normally are.
welcome home, boy."
They normally are. Welcome home. So I give you a car to get to and from school in, and you this is what you do to me.
Where is it? Where's your
This
car?
is what you do.
Why do you need the chain?
Yeah. That's how you pay me back.
Yeah. Quite a
But
time.
yeah, so I got a pretty cool week coming up here. I've got a couple shows tomorrow. One at a bar, an indoor bar with a good local crowd,
Okay.
and then one at an outdoor type of setting. And I got some. I'm gonna play guitar and piano at that show. I'm gonna kind of flip from doing some songs on guitar and songs on the piano. All natural, no auto tune, of course, no live auto tune, no backing tracks. It's just me and an instrument, and I just feel like I can really connect that way. I was actually out to eat last week, and there was a musician there at the restaurant we were, and he was a kind of a reggae style guy, and he had this reggae backing track for absolutely everything, and it was just. Just the whole thing. And he would strum a little bit over and sing over it. But I mean, nobody was paying attention to this guy. He did not talk. He just let it run. It was like, it was like a jukebox.
Yeah.
Everybody can do their thing, but I just think if you want to connect with an audience, you can't do that.
Mm-mm.
You have to make an honest connection. You got to bring them in and bring the people together in the bar. That's what I like to do. It's like it's a party. You're the host.
Right.
When you're playing a live show in a bar, it's up to you to make everybody feel good, bring everybody together, and make them feel something. So yeah, I'm not too fond of the backing track. Just layered over something. It just kind of feels like a karaoke session to me. And why is the audience going to appreciate you if that's just happening all the time? The audience is smart. They know when something's going on. That's why big acts like Ed Sheeran, he does a lot of looping, which is fine. He's good at it. He's a great musician, and he really puts on a great.
You use a loop.
No, well, not. Back in the day, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to do a lot of that stuff. You remember my show got like really big. I had like a
Yeah,
drum
you had a
and keyboards and
Derek on the bongos,
guitar. I would play bass and play guitar, and like it would take me 5 minutes to get the song started and all the parts done. But the reason I retracted away from that is because I don't know. I think the audience responds better to just authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very low tech show. The question is like, when does an artist draw the line, the technology line? And my technology line really started to become lower and lower. I wanted to get more of the technology out to where now I'm very stripped down. I show up with a guitar and a keyboard and a very small Bose PA system. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm laughing internally because when we used to perform, you guys made so much fun of me for my rig, because my rig was literally just my amp head and a distortion pedal and my guitar. And
you wouldn't use anything.
Nothing.
Yeah, you wouldn't use anything. And we had all these fancy pedals with delay and reverb and just all this stuff. You were very low tech. Yep.
Yeah. Gave me so much shit for that, and here we are.
You were right, man. You were right.
Well, no, and I got to tell you though, there is a line, because I was a little too low tech. I now have a reverb pedal. I do. I'll admit it. I have a reverb pedal now. And I had one. Until you took it from me, and I don't know whatever happened to that.
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing. I do have a reverb pedal. I still have a distortion pedal, and I have a combo amp now, because the apartment life, man, a big half stack doesn't really cut it in an apartment. Kind of like what you got, that Black Star behind you.
Yep.
Those are
as
great.
long as it's a tube amp, I love the sound of warm tubes.
Yeah, those are great. Black Stars are fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's I love it. I love that amp. It's very versatile, and it does a lot. I can do anything.
Yeah.
On that amp, any style.
That's actually my resolution for this year. Is I'm actually going to start playing guitar again. It's been a long time since I picked up a guitar. Completely honest. It's because I just haven't been motivated. Because there's been nothing out there that really inspired me to pick up a guitar and play it. There's no new music coming out like what we were talking about before. The last thing I did was record those songs on Pro Tools, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But you're spending money when you record. Even if you're doing it yourself, you still got to buy the software. You still got to buy the equipment. You got to buy all this stuff in order to make it happen, and it gets expensive. And so you got to find a way to think about, how am I going to do this and return anything from it, and it demotivates you when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's really like, why did we get into playing music in the first place? Well, because we love it. We love to do that. That's what you get out of it. It doesn't have to be. Everybody has a relationship with their instrument and the music that they make, and that's what it's about. It's fun. That's why we do it. It's a very good time. So I'm sure you'll be able to find the joy in it. But sometimes you do get sidetracked with it because you're trying to fit inside a box. Am I trying to promote myself? Well, am I a promoter or am I a musician? That's the thing. Back in the day. I always say back in the day, but back in the day, the artist was really the artist. They didn't do a lot of promoting. They were focused on writing and recording, and then the promotion was kind of done otherwise. Nowadays, where an artist can just be in their room doing everything, making the music, promoting the songs, posting on social media, and you ask yourself with musicians these days and artists these days, are they posting to social media for views and validation, or are they posting to social media because there's a specific message to it that they want to get out, even if it's a cover? They're trying to inspire people with the sound and the message of it. And they say with these social media algorithms, you have to post every day. You can't just not post. So when you kind of have the pressure to create content every day, a little bit of the passion for yourself, the passion that you have to do it goes out, and a little bit of the feeling that you're trying to invoke to others kind of goes out the window. They don't feel it as much because it's kind of a forced thing.
The pressure takes over.
Yeah, we definitely deal with that these days. There was a lot of, iconic music being made before because it really wasn't about that. There wasn't this insane pressure that we have to consistently be posting. Oh, you can't let that algorithm catch you sleeping, or you're not going to get as many views. You're not going to go viral. So create something, even if it's shit. Just every day you got to be posting something.
Yeah.
Slop. Yeah, exactly.
It's just slop. Everywhere you turn, it's slop because people are trying to keep up with a consistency algorithm, and it's just it causes noise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But my goal is I'm going to play more guitar just for the heck of it. I always enjoyed playing with a band. That was always the thing I liked to do. I like to play with other people because I could sit around in my room or in my living room or in my basement back then and play guitar all day long, and I could create my own things, but I like creating with other people. That was something I always liked to do is, when our powers combine, we come up with some really cool song or whatever album. And yeah, I'd like to do something like that again. Maybe I'll come down to Florida and we'll throw some stuff together for old time's sake. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but I think that'd be a lot of fun.
You should, man. Come on down.
Yeah.
Come on down.
I'll use the Black
Star
Star
music, man. Yeah. Well, there you go. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Right there. I got plenty of stuff. We could definitely make some music again. That'd be awesome.
Warm those tubes up.
Yeah. For sure.
So what do you think about, we were talking last time kind of about the AI music, right? So one way I think that it could be used responsibly would be like, what if you came up with a song, right? You got like 90% of the song is yours, but you can put a prompt in to say, hey, can you add some B3 organ sounds using the chord structure behind what I've already created and fill in some spots behind. I think that would be a pretty good use for AI technology. I don't know, what do you think about that?
I definitely agree with you there. I just read an article, Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath has a whole bunch of material that he has. He writes the music, but he doesn't really do a lot of vocals. So what he's been doing, and he went public with this strategy, but he's having AI layer the vocals on the music that he does, and then he takes that and shops it around to different singers. Hey, I want it to sound exactly like this. Listen to this. So that's a good way to use the technology, to help you really get the feeling. He's not saying, oh, let's have the AI singer do it. He's saying, let's use it in order to get a human vocalist to understand exactly what he wants. And that's what we need to do with AI. We need to use it tastefully. Mm-hmm. It has to be a compliment to us. Let's let it do the things that we really don't prefer to do, and leave the making art, those passionate things that we love to do. We need to use that. We need to let AI do the things that we don't want to do. That way we can do more of the things that make us human, the more human things that make us human.
There's people
like making music and traveling and writing and art and all types of those things.
There's people that hate AI. Like, they absolutely hate it. And I heard somebody talking about, if the robots ever come alive, I'm going to go out and find a way to hack into them and shut them all down. But what they're thinking about is like Terminator. They're thinking about AI is going to come and replace you. AI wants your job. AI doesn't want anything. It just does exactly what you tell it to do. So it's up to you to use it responsibly. And sure, there's a lot of people who won't, but if people use it like what we're talking about, to demo songs, to take part in creating something that you can't do so that you can get somebody else, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a perfect use for AI.
There are some, and they, the media has not been very friendly to it. You know why? Because people don't really enjoy hearing stories about AI accomplishing great things. They like to hear stories about scandalous things that are happening. This one example is I read this story about, now, I may be getting this mixed up, so don't quote me on all the exact facts, but I'm going to give you the gist.
Okay.
So if I get any of the details incorrectly, forgive me. But the gist of the story was that there was a teacher. He may have been a gym teacher at a high school in America,
Mm-hmm.
and he there was a student that wasn't the greatest student, wasn't listening very well, and he had to reprimand the student, and the student got mad. So
Okay.
what the student did is he or she, probably was a he downloaded an app, and he took a clip of the gym teacher's voice, right? It may have been a clip of him speaking at a school event or something, but he got his voice, cloned it, had AI, clone his voice, and then created a recording of the gym teacher saying all this terrible racist stuff, posted it online. Of course, the school board sees it. The
Mm-hmm.
representatives of the school see it. The administrators see it. And what do? They put the gym teacher on leave.
Yeah.
Of course, because and that's where it's very scary. This stuff. So it went to court. And another thing is this stuff is scary in the court of law. Because when we get to the point where we can't distinguish whose voice it is, when we get to the point where we're looking at this podcast that we're creating now and we don't know if that's Joey and Pat,
Yeah.
we don't know if these are their AI avatars or if this is true. Well, in the court of law, anybody can say, well, that's not me in the video. That's not me robbing the bank. This was AI generated. Or that's not my voice. It was AI generated. So, but in this case, I read about the findings. They ultimately found that the gym teacher was not guilty of this, and they
Right.
reprimanded the student. They figured out that it was done because the student had to, eventually confess to that. But I read about the analysts. They brought in some AI experts for this case, some
Right.
expert witnesses to analyze the audio. And one of them said in the transcript that he was very shocked at how difficult this was to
Mhm.
figure out if this was real or if this was fake. He said it was very difficult, and that was a while ago. This story may have been a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So and this stuff is advancing so quickly. So we really have to think about the court of law, because there's been a lot of court cases that have been decided based upon video, based upon audio, and then when we can question that and we can say, well, this isn't. That was me, but it was generated. Another quick story I'll tell you is there's spammers out there that are calling individuals, and if they get a voicemail, they record the voicemail. If you leave a personal voicemail of your voice, right, they can get a copy of your voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And right there, then they can use that to make a script, and then suddenly, Joey is calling and cursing out all these people, or Joey's doing whatever. Joey's voice. They can have Joey's voice do whatever. Sign up for a credit card, or ask for this, or ask for that.
Yep.
Even Wells Fargo uses my voice as my password. They ask you to say that over the phone. Now that's very, very scary, because
100%.
let's say you clone my voice, and then Wells Fargo is using this voice recognition technology to get me into my account. Then suddenly somebody is in my account cloning my voice, and they're transferring money around.
Yeah.
So it's a very scary time. Just like I said before, the safety and the regulation is always behind. It always takes time to catch up when we're creating these new and exciting things.
It's because somebody always figures out a way to break the problem, and then you have to find a way to react to that. It's because the technology is putting us in a reactive state, whereas we should be proactive. So for you, I would say you'd probably want to change your password from password 01. Not you specifically, but if somebody has a weak password, you're going to want to change it to something that's difficult, for one thing. And
or is everyone going to be afraid to leave? Like, what's your voicemail? I don't remember. Is that your voice?
Yeah,
or
it's
is
my
it...
voice.
Ooh, thanks. How did I know that?
But you know what? It'd be difficult for scammers, for one thing, because I have it set up to where my phone will answer and it'll make them leave a message as to why they're calling me. And then it might give them my answering machine. But when I get
are
a call,
are you offending people by doing that? Do you think you don't care?
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care if I offend somebody.
Do you think people are offended? Like,
I don't give a fuck if I offend somebody. I care more about,
Okay.
am I secure? Are you secure? Is my family secure? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If I,
Yeah.
if I offend
Yeah.
anybody, no, nobody should. Your security should be paramount to you. You shouldn't be worried about other people. Are you looking for the bleep key? You're gonna bleep
Sorry.
Patrick?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was looking for somebody was calling. Um,
I mean, our
so it's
voices are
only
on
our
this
second
podcast.
episode, and yeah,
You know,
that's right. You've already done it.
voices
We're
are
already
here.
we're already in big trouble.
Multi-factor authentication, buddy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so this is only our second podcast, so we're learning things. Probably like not have our cell phones on next time.
Yeah,
We
my
should
my
try.
alarm went off twice.
Yeah, and like I have people calling me, so we'll learn that. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're
Getting there.
getting there.
This is a
Trial and error.
GarageBand podcast round two.
That's right.
But anyway, yeah. So it's scary, man. So you got to watch out. I don't know. Maybe everybody's going to change their voicemail to the electronic one, or just disguise your voice. Maybe do an accent. Top of the morning to you. This is Joey's cell phone. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Leave a quick message.
Hello, Mr.
Then if they try to clone that, they're just cloning some cheesy British accent, Joey, and then they're going to use that
Yeah.
to try to log into Wells Fargo. Transfer $400 from the checking account. They're like, that's not Joey. That's a British Joey.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I may redo
Ja,
my
Gabarufa
voicemail,
Ruski.
my voice greeting today. I may redo it in a different accent.
I hope you do,
So-
because
so
I
I'm
want to
safe.
call that and hear that. Hello, this is Joey. You've reached Joey's cellular mobile device. Please leave a message after the pip pip.
There you go. It
Yeah.
may be just like that, and I'll be safe.
Yep, you'll be very secure.
So your wife is a teacher.
My wife is a teacher, and I've heard stories about what some of the things that the kids are doing in these schools, but really,
Yeah, she's on the front lines, right? Because she sees this newest generation. She is like hand in hand with them. She gets all the stuff.
yeah, and I'll tell you what, there are different sides to this newest generation. I think this one is technically alpha. I think Z is out of school. I think now it's alpha, and she's saying that there are a lot of good things that are coming from this generation, but and she's not the only one I've heard this from. But have you heard of the 6-7 thing?
Oh yes, I
I'm,
have.
I'm going to tell you, man, this is like, apparently it's the biggest problem that the adult generation currently is facing is the 6-7 problem. And I don't know where it
Which
started.
once again I think is the movie Idiocracy happening.
Yeah,
Because
they
you
do
could
this.
just see that in the movie. You could see that in the movie, like 6-7, welcome.
Yeah,
Like
they do this.
You could just see that in
6-7.
that movie. Like the average citizen who's just dumbed down so much is just like doing that.
But I'm going to tell
But yeah,
I'm going to tell you something, though. I have the solution to this. The 6-7 problem is not going to be a
it is
problem
problem.
anymore.
So you consider it a problem? You
Yes,
consider this a problem? Okay.
it's an epidemic.
Does your wife, the teacher, consider it a problem?
I don't think it bothers her. I don't think she cares. And I'm going to tell you.
Really? Okay.
And I'm going to tell
Okay.
you the technique. Okay.
But do they say it every day? Like, what does she deal? Like, are they saying this in school?
She at this point she just mentioned it in passing. So in my head, I'm imagining you going into like the cafeteria and all the students are like 6-7, 6-7,
just all the time.
6-7. Like that's what I'm thinking. I don't really know, but based on what I'm hearing from other teachers, like it doesn't bother my wife. She doesn't care. But other teachers that I've seen on the internet that are posting about it, they really, really, really are seriously affected by this. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you how you don't let this affect you. There
Okay.
is, in therapy, there's something that's called exposure therapy, right? And so exposure therapy is something that it takes something that you're irrationally afraid of or get irrationally angry at. So in my case, we'll take, for example, my wife. She gets irrationally angry when I leave my shoes on the ground. So it's been a long day.
Could you?
I want to take my boots off.
Yeah.
Wherever I am,
Yeah.
my boots are going.
Yeah, you've been on the Beltway for 3 hours.
3 hours. It's a
You
long
want to
day.
take your damn shoes off.
So I've been very helpful, and I've been exposing her to the shoes on the floor a little bit more frequently.
Oh,
And
little by little, giving her a little bit of
yeah. So
giving her a little of the medicine.
She becomes desensitized to it. Like the other night, I took my house slippers off, and I slid over to her side of the bed real stealthily, and I put one of my house slippers on her pillow, so that when she woke up in the morning,
You put your shoe
on
your
the
wife's pillow. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's for a good purpose. It's in order to help her to not worry about my shoes being on the floor. I mean, it's not on the pillow; it's on the floor. It's better than being on the pillow. But anyway,
that's right. Yeah. Then when she sees them on the floor, she's like, no big deal. So at least it's not on where I put my face to sleep.
So you got to desensitize yourself. So what you do is you take ownership. You take ownership of the 6'7".
You lean into it.
You lean into it, and you 6'7" harder than these kids could ever imagine. Like
6'7" them out of their desk.
You 6'7" those kids right out of their desk. Like when you walk in, you say, "Hey guys, you know what time it is? It's 6:07." And you really do it. And you got to do the hand motion like big.
Yeah. Write it on the board everywhere.
On the board, 6'7" everywhere. You could wear a T-shirt with your face, like a cartoon of your face. AI can make that for you. Can make a cartoon image of your face, you going like this, and then just have 6'7", going up the shirt. And so what you want to do is you want to take ownership of it, because it's going to be hard. Exposure therapy is very difficult, and it's probably going to kill you little by little internally. But you have to take control of the idiocy. You've got to own the idiocy.
You just said. So to do this therapy, it's going to kill me little by little internally, is what you're saying.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
But if we do this enough, the kids will be like, gosh, I don't want to do what the boring old square teacher's doing all the time.
Exactly.
This 6'7" thing might be dumb. This might be stupid.
Yeah.
Because that's all. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah. You may have a point there.
I
think the kids do it to the teachers because they're obviously annoyed.
They're getting a reaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're getting a reaction.
These kids, they don't even know that 6 and 7 equal 13. Like, you could tell them that. You could be like, 6 plus 7 equals 13. Did you know that? I don't think you do, because you're obviously doing this and saying 6, 7. You never said 13.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's a very interesting theory there.
I think we should make a shirt for people, Joey. I think we should. We should put a 6'7" t-shirt together. We will take ownership if people won't take ownership of 6'7" for themselves. And,
that's right.
We can make the graphic free for people. They can download the 6'7" graphic, put it on their shirt, take ownership.
You got to lean into it hard enough to where it's just not cool anymore, and then it will go away.
Knock those kids right off their desks with the 6'7". You got to own it.
That's right. I like it.
Yeah. I think that's the solution. I think we should do a problem solving like this every time we do a podcast. We could solve like a problem for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just need problems. We should just go to Reddit. There's tons of problems on there. Gosh, I was reading that the other day. There's all kinds of people writing about problems that they have, and horrible, crazy stories, the craziest things you've ever seen. I just want to help these people. When I see that. I just want to tell them, you're not going to feel this way tomorrow, or you're probably going to feel differently in 2 days or 3 days, or
Reddit. Do you think people go to Reddit for anything more than to complain, though? I think
they go to Reddit too to be comforted sometimes. Why? Because you read about other things and it makes you feel like your issues, other people are experiencing the same issues that you are, so you don't feel alone. When you read that type of stuff. And there's a lot of things, a lot of ways that the phone can make you feel that way, which is why people are so connected to it.
Yeah.
And kind of disassociated with others and less social.
I go on there to feel better. Like, I'll go on Reddit and I'll be like, man, this is a cesspool of garbage. Like, these people, that's bad. Like, I don't have it
Yeah.
bad. That's bad.
Yeah,
I'm living
this
pretty
guy's
good.
got this guy's got it bad.
Yeah, I'm living pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's very it's a very interesting body of content when you jump on there.
I think we should post our first show on Reddit. I think we should talk about the very first show that we did together, because that will make people feel better instantly about anything that they're going through. It can't be worse than that first show that we had. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember that it was probably one of my worst shows, which was good to get that out of the way at the beginning of the career.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very freeing when you go through the worst of it first.
Yeah, yeah. It was in a small town, Purcellville, Virginia.
Yep, the Roadhouse. Right? The Roadhouse.
Yeah, a place called the Roadhouse. Probably not there anymore. And we were very loud. Back then, when you first start playing music, you don't really understand the concept of are we there to, what kind of connection are we going to make, and how's the audience going to feel? It's just like, how loud can we be? We must be louder than the drummer.
Right. Yeah.
And we were loud, man. I do remember that.
We were loud, and the electricity was dirty. So like the plugs that we plugged our amps into was all static. The PA was just horrendous. The songs weren't great. I mean, they were all original though. Our songs, we didn't play any covers except for Tuesday's Gone, but the rest of them were originals. And I just I remember it was a battle, and I remember watching the room slowly become more and more empty the longer that we went on.
Yep.
It seemed like every time I looked up from my guitar, somebody else had left, and eventually
Right. I thought it was some kind of fire drill or something happening.
Yeah, they ran screaming. It was just like, it was like something frightened them. And at the end of it,
there was one audience member left in the crowd. I remember when the lights came up, and we were excited because we thought that was maybe our fan. One fan.
She was in a wheelchair and she couldn't leave.
She was immobile, so she couldn't under her own power leave.
The person who was pushing her left.
Yeah. But there's a debate. Maybe she could have gotten out of there herself, but she didn't want to because she enjoyed the music so much. It could be that, or it could have been she couldn't get out under her own power.
I think, and I tend to err on the side of she couldn't get out under her own power. Our parents were there.
Yeah.
Our parents, they came back in when we were done. They didn't stay in the room.
Collected her. Yeah.
And our parents were there. But I think back on that, and I just think about the perseverance that it took for the positive side of that. We went from experiencing nobody died, so that's good. But, as a musician, losing an audience is one thing that just sticks with you, and that can ruin all of your desire to go out there and do it again. So you've really got to persevere, and you've got to really want it in order to go out there after you bombed on a show. And that's something that I think that we did very well, because we kept at it. And
we got better.
We got better, and we allowed ourselves to get better. And we watched that video 50 times to see where we went wrong. We're like, okay, we're not going to do that again. We're not going to do that again. Maybe we can do that again. We're not going to play that song again. We just dissected it. And we did that on every show that we played. We would sit back and we'd pop the tape in, and we'd watch it just like a football team would watch their game and be like, okay, we messed up here. We did good here. And I would like to take the lessons from that and give it to other people, to be like, you might have a bad experience, and you might think that you did terribly, but there's always going to be a girl in the wheelchair, that's paying attention to you. Even, maybe she wants to pay attention to you, but just look for that little streak of light and persevere through it.
Yeah, everybody starts off not sounding that great. It's a craft.
Absolutely.
You're an artist. It's something that if you're not working on it, then or you're not taking it seriously. If you're not trying to be better,
yeah, you're gonna bomb. Whatever you do, you're gonna bomb. And
bombing is learning. Bombing is getting better.
Yeah, and you learn where you went wrong. You learn what you did that was good. You learn what you did that wasn't so good, and you adjust. And
That's right.
before that, I got to tell you this other show. I don't know if I ever told you about this one. It was called
So
the.
you remember details,
It was
right,
very
of all of this
traumatic.
stuff. And when you start to talk, you have a brain for details. I'm more of a big picture guy. Oh yeah, I remember we were playing in that state in those years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk when you mention the details, it all comes crashing back into
Yeah.
my mind.
Well, it was traumatic.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. The first show that I ever played, it was at a place called the Relay for Life, and I was with a band who weren't ready to perform. We didn't have we didn't have a drummer that we'd ever rehearsed with. We didn't have a bass player. We had me, Ducky, Daniel, and a vocalist that we had met once, right? And so I was asleep, and I get a call, and it was like at that time it was like 12 in the afternoon, and I picked it up, and I'm like, "Hello," and I hear, "Patrick, this is Mom Hughes. Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in bed. What do you mean? Where am I?" She goes, "What about the show?" And I said, "Mom, what?" She goes, "Well, the show that Daniel set up." So I put the phone down for a second. I'm like, "This motherfucker he set up a show. We're not even ready for it. I didn't know about it." I'm like, "Okay, where is it?" And so she goes, "Just come on over. We'll drive you over there." So I get my gear. I sped over there, and we go to this place. It's like an outdoor event, and we're starting to set up our equipment. I'm smoking, right, having a cigarette, and the guy who's running the event comes up and goes, "Hey, you got to put that cigarette out." I'm like, "Who are you talking to? Like, you don't come up to me and tell me to put my cigarette out." And he goes, "This is a Relay for Life. This is a cancer benefit." I'm like, "Oh." That explains that. So
Yeah, yeah. They probably frown upon that.
yeah, they frowned upon that, and we got up there, man, and we tried. We performed as well as we could for being. John had a fever of like 103, and he was delusional. Like he thought he was still playing Star Fox while he was playing his keyboard.
Gosh.
The drummer
Well,
no
that could be
show.
cool though. That's kind of psychedelic.
Yeah, very.
You know, that's kind of cool.
A drummer
I
no
kind
show.
of want to be entertained by a keyboard player that thinks he's playing Star
Like
Fox.
like
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I might be into that.
drummer no showed, so we had the
No, not the keyboard beat.
beat,
Oh no!
the
Did it have
vocal,
fills at least? Remember those
no
cheap fills
fills,
that came?
no
Man,
fills.
some of those keyboards had a fill button, so if you wanted a cheesy fill, doom 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 doom. Yeah.
No fills. It was
Oh,
just
you guys
straight.
played with the keyboard straight up
Yep, and
beat
the
four on the
vocalist,
four
the
four
the
four.
the lyrics were terrible. The one lyric that I remember was, "She's dead, and I want my class ring back." And
Mm.
I'm just like, okay, this is not going good
It's
because
deep. It's dark.
very dark. Relay for Life. Here comes the guy who's running the event, and I look over and I see him coming. I'm like, oh man.
It's like,
He's like, "Hey, do you guys have anything that's like not so dark?" And the singer had like a little tantrum. He threw the mic down and he left the stage. No, he didn't throw it down. He handed it to me. He's like, "I'm out of here." I'm like, "Well, we don't have a drummer, we don't have a bass player, and now we don't have a vocalist. I guess we're gonna go into free-form jazz improvisation."
there you go. Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. And I'll tell you what, man, those people, they gave us pity applause, but the whole ride home, I just remember I was sitting next to Daniel and I was just staring at him.
You
I'm
were in the
like,
cringe car on the way home.
even Mom Hughes didn't have a positive word to say. Like, she would always be the one to pick you up when you were
Yeah.
feeling down. She was just
Gosh.
silent.
Wow. That's a bad show. Gosh. Well, the show I played with you then was a little bit better than that, just a tick.
For
So,
me,
yeah.
I mean,
just a tick.
I'm sure, I don't know what shows you'd had before that, or if you'd had anything.
Well, I remember we played a show one time in our band, and it was for a veterinary hospital. They were having like a weekend benefit for the veterinary hospital, and we were playing in this, kind of the warehouse area of the vet, and the door opened, and there was a crowd outside, but we were in this in case it rained, and there was a large freezer next to me. I didn't know what it was, and I thought maybe there were drinks in there for the band, and I opened it up, and I saw a dead golden retriever. It was terrible. It was traumatizing, and
Yeah.
I closed it right away. So yeah, that sticks out in my mind. Some of the bad shows that we did.
There was a clown there too, I think.
Really, there's always a clown in a bad show walking around.
There was a clown. And then we went from that, and then the best shows that we did were the Village Pavilions, the Village Fest.
Yes, those were very good shows. That was an act. That was a proper stage with proper sound. We really felt like rock stars on that one because we had people running sound, we had people carrying stuff for us. We signed autographs.
Yep.
That was really cool. We smashed guitars and threw them into the crowd, and people grabbed them and wanted those autographs. That was really fun. That was great. And we did that like 3 times. We won it 3 times in a row, and then they retired us from it. We weren't allowed to do it anymore because we won it so much. And then we were the judges. Remember?
Yep. And then
we came full circle.
Then we went. I remember when you guys smashed the equipment because Josh, that was our bass player at the time. He didn't have his own bass. He had your ex-girlfriend's bass. She gave it to him to use, and I remember the very last song that we played. At the very end of it, I see the bass go flying up in the air. I'm like, oh shit! Like
that's not his bass.
That's not his bass, and it goes flying up in the air. Like I'm just watching it, like somebody hit a fly ball. And it comes down, and he picks it up, and he smashes it into smithereens. There's splinters flying all over. Then you smashed yours, and I had my Les Paul. I'm not going to smash my Les Paul. So I'm like, I gotta do something.
Well, I smashed mine because I bought a cheap guitar to smash. I prepared myself.
Yeah, you were prepared, but I knocked the mic stand over.
There you go. That's very rock and roll.
Yeah.
I remember knowing that we were going to smash guitars. We would go to the pawn shops. It was always the Fender Squires. You can get those for like $40 back then.
Yeah.
And they sounded okay. You could do one song with them, and they sounded okay. They would stay in tune good enough to get it done. And then, when you smashed it, it was, it looked like you were, a member of the Who or something. But little did they know it was a very, very cheap guitar that we were smashing.
You remember
I feel bad for every Squire that I've ever smashed. I wish I could get them back.
Too late. The splinters are out there somewhere. Maybe there's still splinters in those fields.
Who knows?
But yeah, those were some good days. I don't know that I would be much into a smashing guitar mood these days, but I would probably give one away.
Throw your back out.
Yeah, you'll throw. Yeah, especially at our age.
That's right.
Pull a hammy.
And the audience would look at you like, "What is this aggression? Depressive state?
Yeah,
your mental health." Yeah, nobody asked about mental health when people were smashing guitars back then. When Hendrix lit his guitar on fire and smashed it, nobody in the crowd was like, he must be going through some mental health problems.
They're like, how can I get some of that? That's what.
Yeah, that's right.
How can I do that myself? But those were good shows. I remember very, very vividly those Village Fest shows, and they were always so much fun.
Yeah. Well, that is going to conclude another amazing episode.
All right.
The Garage Band Podcast. And in the books for the future, I think we should try to find somebody out there that would be willing to be a guest.
Okay.
But it must be somebody interesting. It must be somebody grand. It must be somebody that will do it for free.
For free. Yeah, I mean, if anybody who's interesting or finds himself to be interesting watches and is like, hey, I got some stories I'd like to tell about my music days or whatever, and would be willing to pop on here and chat with us or whatever.
That would be great. And I'm just going to mention it. You have the famous Steve Whiteman from Kix.
I don't think he'd be free, though.
He is an acquaintance, though, and I'm just going to publicly mention it right now to anybody that's watching. Since he is an acquaintance, he would make a fine guest and have fine stories. He might do it.
You never know.
I'm throwing it out there. Maybe everybody's going to see this and start blowing up all of his social media and phones, or we could just clone his voice. Let's just clone his ass. That's a great idea. We don't need podcast guests. With AI now, we'll just clone somebody.
Oh my
We can have
God.
them say whatever we want. It'll be great. We can have them like hype up the podcast the whole time. You
Or
know,
we could
let's go big. Let's just clone Slash the whole time. You'd be like, these guys are great. Let me tell you, Pat and Joey, man, I'm just so stoked to be here for free. Ask me about my my past. So yeah, never mind. We don't want a guest. We're just gonna clone one.
Man, I got to tell you, that is honestly a very deep-seated fear of mine is we're going to get to a point where we're not going to know if we're watching a real person or not.
It's coming, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I had a good time. Thanks for the great podcast day. I can't wait to do the next one.
Until we meet again, my friend.
Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Bye.